Does it feel a lot like the last couple games before this?
It does. I feel like the guys are competing hard. We're defending hard as a team. When you look at this Toronto team with some of the personnel that they have, it's similar to Edmonton in the sense that they're two of the more dangerous teams, offensively anyway. They're high-octane offensive teams, and I think we're defending extremely hard against them. I thought we had a bunch of looks again. And, the key for me right now is we got to make sure we don't get discouraged. I just think it was a big point for us. It's an important point for us. We've got to make sure that we control our own mindsets here moving forward. I think their intentions are in the right place. We're trying to get traffic at the net. We're willing to get inside. We had some real good looks inside. I thought the power play had once again had a bunch of good looks. I do believe that these guys are going to score. It's a similar feel the last couple of games.
How do you guard against the discouragement or any feelings of frustration?
Well, we just talked to the players about it. The easy route is to be discouraged. But the right route and the hard route is to make sure we just get more determined. And we'll build on the positives. And there's a lot to like about our game. It's a conscious choice that we all make on what our approach is going to be, and I know our guys are going to make the right one.
Is there, more that you feel like you could see from them on offense, or do you feel like it's just a matter of just finishing?
It's a fine line. Coaching the offensive side of the game is one of the more challenging ones in my experience, because if you're not careful, you can overthink things, and then you got to be careful you don't get in the way of their instincts. So we're trying to give them the latitude to act on their instincts and trust their instincts out there. These guys are talented guys, and we're just going to support them and encourage them through this process. If we continue to defend hard, the positive is that how many 5-on-5 goals have we given up in the first 6 games? We're defending hard. I think we're a much stingier team. There's a semblance of structure in all 3 zones that I think is very evident to the coaching staff, and as a result, I think we're controlling the not only the quantity of chances we're giving up, but the quality also, and that's a credit to the players and their buy-in and their commitment to play defense.
From a discipline standpoint, this has to be pretty pleasing for a coaching staff too.
Yeah, I obviously we'd like to get better results. I feel like they're in a lot of ways. I feel for the guys because I don't think they've got rewarded yet for their efforts, and I believe they will. We believe they will as a coaching staff, and that was the discussion that we had with them.
You mentioned earlier about going into the greasy areas. When guys get discouraged, a lot of times they start trending towards the periphery. Your team doesn't do that. Is that at least something that you can take, that they're still going hard to the net?
Yeah, I think if you want to score in this league, you only have to look at the goals that are scored on the highlights every night, and how goals are scored in this league.
Their first goal.
Most of them are from the inside, right? And so, I think our team is showing a willingness to get to the interior of the rink, which is something that we've preached from day one. And getting to the blue paint, making the sight lines for the goaltender difficult, creating that next play opportunity. And I believe that our guys have the right intentions there. We're getting inside. We had some looks inside. There were some great rebound opportunities that we didn't finish on. So I think we gotta stay the course here.
Last one.
What's that?
The goal you do get is from Parsonen, and it's exactly what you're talking about on the inside. So, what did you see from him in terms of, he's sat out for the first 5, and he comes in and gets a goal for you?
Yeah, it's a huge goal, obviously. It helps us get a point, which is an important point for us against a really good team. So I thought Pars played well. I thought Noah Labusline, had a solid game tonight. The first period was tough because half the period was special teams. And it took some guys out of the ability to play. Once we started to get into the flow of the game, the second and third period, we had the ability to roll the bench over and give everybody an opportunity to get into the game. And I thought Lobbs' line played well tonight. You know, that the pace of that game was fast, and you know, I thought they handled themselves extremely well. They get a huge goal for us. You know, that's just an example of their willingness to get to the inside, and it's a huge goal. So I was happy for Parse, and hopefully that'll be something that will help his confidence moving forward, and you know, we'll go from there. But I thought Parse had a good game for us.
And you also you tweaked the top two lines. You flip-flopped Cooley and Laugh. I mean, your thinking there and what you saw afterwards?
Well, we just felt like we were at the point where we had to maybe affect a little bit of change. You know, sometimes change for the sake of change might help a little bit. And so we just felt, you know, Will's is obviously a different type of player than Laugh. I think he has a willingness to get to the net front. You know, Mika and Brett have the ability to, you know, to play that give and go game and make plays. But, you know, once again, it's not easy to score from the outside unless you've got somebody at the net front willing to make the goaltender's life difficult. And so, you know, we thought maybe that switch might help them there with Will's size and his willingness to get to the net front. And so I think JT's line, you know, JT by nature goes to the net front a lot. He's excellent at it. I think he's a lot to handle there. So it was just a little bit of a tweak to try to see if we could affect some positive.
Still kind of the same way after tonight. How are you feeling about kind of the level you guys are playing?
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah. What Yuso has kind of been in and out of the lineup. He comes in tonight, gets a big goal.
Yeah.
What does that mean for the team?
Yeah.
To have that line step up?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, it's not getting a lot of bounces right now. So you go to the net, you get rewarded with a tip. Had a lot of tips the last, you know, since the season started, and they just aren't going in. So it's a big goal. Played another really good opponent today. A lot of high power offense, and it's kind of more the same. It's easy to get frustrated and get off the rails, but still 82 of these things, and we've only played 6. So that's why I don't want to keep blowing everything out of proportion.
Yeah. As the top 6, though, you guys, it is kind of you guys are the ones who are expected to produce offensively, and I know it's bounces at this point, but do you find yourself putting more pressure on yourselves or anything like that?
Like I said, that's the easy thing to do, and if you're mentally weak, you're going to go off the rails because this isn't working on paper. But to me, it's about getting the look. It's not about if it goes in. Over time, you get the looks that are going to go in. It's just easy to go the other way right now, and that's why we're going to be mentally tough in here, and we're going to keep pounding pucks at the net and outplaying the teams we're playing against, and it's going to work eventually.
What did you think about the job you guys did defensively against the top guys, the Matthews, Nylanders, those guys?
We're happy, I think, with what we played. Obviously, coaches watch it again tonight, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. But as of now, I thought we limited a lot of the high danger ones, especially, and you know, it took a nice bounce for them on the power play was the difference, really, and just tight games. We're playing. I think being in tight games is a good sign. Also, like we're playing high power teams right now, and limiting a lot of high danger areas. So like. Certainly not satisfied with not scoring, but we really don't want to go off the rails to find something when in all reality we're doing all the right things to try to get them into the net. They're just not going.
The Carrick line with Edstrom and Rempe has been really productive.
Yeah.
Swinging momentum. Just where are you at with what they're bringing to the team?
Yeah, they're just providing like another level for our team right now. They're outplaying their line. They're playing against most shifts, and for us, that's how you wear teams down. Is when you have their line, you know, maybe it's not going well for us in the top 6 for a couple shifts, and then all of a sudden they go out and turn the tide. They've been doing that for us, and they just play north-south. And when they play that identity, they're a handful for teams.
What does it say that Sullivan's kind of trusting them more and more late in games and big situations and stuff?
Well, I mean, it's a lot. It's good for confidence. You know, it's nice to be rewarded no matter who it is. You know, he's been very straightforward with that since he got here. Is if you do the right things, you'll be rewarded, and you know, they've been a big part of. Even though we're not winning, like a big part of I feel like our success the last 3.5 games. So success in the sense of how we'd like to play as a team.
Lastly, I know it's not a win, but kind of getting off the regulation loss streak and at least getting a point tonight. How big is that?
I just like I said, this is like a trap to fall into. Like we're doing a lot of the right things. Like it's unfortunate, but we're going to be better off if we keep doing this down the road. This is good for us right now as a team. We're going to learn from this. We're going to take pride in this. We're not going to change. We're going to test ourselves. It's going to be good.